We're back.
What up, man?
Keon,
It's you and
welcome
me
back.
this week. Yeah, thank you. It's been a few weeks, I think, since I've been on because we had that weird gap between, and then you and Ross handily covered last week while I was out of town.
A
So
lot's
good to be
happened.
back. Yeah, dude. This has been an eventful since a few weeks since I've been on.
Yeah, I mean, we've had, Chesney, come on board, all aboard the Chesney train.
Cowboy Bob.
Cowboy Bob is back. He's in action. Basketball, unfortunately, taking a little bit of a tumble over the weekend. But I wanted to start off tonight, getting your just sort of thoughts on Chesney. I'm sure you've watched some snippets of different interviews and sort of what the committee had to say. But what are your overall consensus and what are your overall thoughts on the hire?
Yeah, so I was able to download a bunch of the YouTube videos of the press conference, and the Q&A after, and really kind of be able to fully download all that went down. I think it's a great hire. I think it's as good of a hire as we could have made. He's a young, energetic guy who has a lot to prove, I think. And I think he's coming in with a lot of determination and a lot of will to try to get us back to where we've been before but we haven't been in a long time. So it's not an easy task by any means, but I think he could potentially be the right guy. He said all the right things at that press conference. Had me fired up.
Yeah, that's what Ross and I had talked about last week, is really just the ability to communicate, I think, is what stood out, before, obviously, Foss and Chip even, I mean, we haven't really had someone that can address a room like that and address a team, I feel like, since Mora, left. So I think that's what I'm most excited about, is someone that can really command a room. Obviously, talking to donors is big nowadays, but just his presence and his ability to just articulate and communicate what his vision is and what his goals are and what the future looks like, just had me really juiced. And it was cool to hear the different pieces of the puzzle. Dave Roberts jumping in and
coming in,
middle of the World Series run, and he's talking to Chesney. So fired up.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the pieces about him wanting to engage the students, wanting to engage the alums, all these things obviously all hit home to things that we've been saying, and I think the greater fan base. One thing that I saw a tweet, somebody, I want to credit them, but it was a few weeks ago, so I don't remember. When he touched down in Van Nuys Airport, and he came off the plane with his entire family, everybody in that family was wearing a piece of UCLA merchandise. He was wearing, I think it was a quarter zip. He's been rocking it, in every UCLA engagement that I've seen him in. That was something that, sure, Foss did it, but Chip, it felt like he just never wore the
brand.
Yeah, and I, we have some insight and stuff like that. So I've heard that it was a big struggle to get Chip to wear anything UCLA branded, especially like a visor even, or he always wore that black visor and it had the B on it, not even the UCLA. I feel like that's more of a baseball thing, but it was the only thing he would be okay with wearing. So
almost felt like he was too good for the brand or
exactly
something like that. I agree. But yeah, obviously super fired up to have Chesney and Westwood. They're playing this Saturday against the Ducks.
What do you guys think of him continuing to coach?
I mean, in this day and age, I feel like that's not what a lot of coaches. I mean, we saw Kiffin obviously just completely jump ship. But I mean, I think it's a cool thing for him to continue to do. Obviously, being at a small program, it's very interesting to see. I don't know if you've seen the pictures of him and Napier in practice together. Both. Billy's the head coach of the team now, and he's out. It's just a weird state of college football and how extended the season is getting, and when this hiring cycle becomes. So I think it's the new norm. You're going to see some coaches probably do that. You would never see it for a bowl game.
No, I don't think so. It would get that far. I mean, I agree. I think it's kind of weird because of the way the transfer portal's set up. But the one thing I kind of liked about it, and at this point, it's not like he's not doing it anymore. So it's either you get on board or go talk to a wall.
Right.
I think it does a lot of publicity. The fact that we have a coach and it's going to be talked about on the broadcast. It's going to be, talked about in articles, social media. Hey, this hotshot coach led JMU to the playoffs is going to go to UCLA in a few months. I think it builds a lot of credibility around the nation about who this guy is. I mean, us who are really deep in college football know, but for other folks who are just auxiliary fans or just casual fans, maybe don't know JMU and they don't know Bob Chesney, and I think it'll be a really good kind of validation to be like, oh, UCLA got a playoff coach.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll work, buying some credibility with his team that he currently has and some of those pieces that he wants to bring to UCLA. Hopefully not burn any bridges. No,
we'll gladly take them all. Well, good luck to Cowboy Bob Saturday, and hopefully, actually, I don't know if I hope that he takes down the Ducks. Let's get him to Westwood ASAP.
Yeah. I think at this point it's enough. Like, I'd be cool if they lose. It would be cool for them to be competitive, to be like, if they compete with Dan Lanning and the Ducks.
That's impressive.
I think that's enough.
Exactly. So that's on Saturday. Let's flip the script to something a little bit more, I would call it just disappointing at this point. Yeah. There's not many other words to say to describe this team at this point. UCLA basketball loses in Seattle 82-72 on Saturday night to Gonzaga. A very winnable game in my opinion. Mm-hmm. A game that was absolutely dominated in the paint by Gonzaga. I mean, Graham E.K. literally, I think, could get whatever he wanted. Same with Braden Huff. 9 for 16 from Graham E.K. and 7 for 12 from Braden Huff, combining for 46 points. And I'd have to say that 90% of those points were in the paint. So, I mean, it's sort of been a theme for a few weeks now, but rim protection and post protection from this UCLA defense is a major problem. I'm calling for it online, but I think losing a Daimara and William Kyle are potentially two of the most catastrophic events in Mick Cronin's career, because you look at a Daimara right now and him and that Michigan team are just killing it.
They're so good. And he's doing so well there. And no matter how that whole situation unfolded, but imagine this team with a Daimara and Donovan Dent getting to the rack, and
Could you imagine Donovan Dent to Daimara lobs?
Yeah, just like the defense collapsing on a Dent drive, and then he just dishes it to Mara for a slam. I mean, that's a dream right there.
We really haven't seen a lot of that from Xavier Booker, and honestly, I think in this game especially, he got exposed at the 5 because he's just not as physical as a Graham EK or a Braden Huff. I mean, they were backing him down with Will, and even in the pick and roll game, he doesn't. It almost seems like he wants to pop out and stay towards the 3-point line, which I got to give him credit. I've been impressed with his ability to shoot the 3-pointer this year. But it's
kind of weird seeing him pull up and
hey, he's like 50%, I want to say, or somewhere damn near 50% from 3. Actually 61%. Wow. 61% from 3, but it goes without saying that the non-conference slate. I mean, we have 3 games left. We got ASU tomorrow night, Cal Poly, UC Riverside. No more
those all should be wins.
Yeah, those all should be wins. No more real ways for UCLA to make any type of statements or pick up any quad 1 wins or anything like that until we hit conference play on January 3rd moving forward. And the Big Ten's a gauntlet this year. I mean, the Big Ten is, Nebraska is, I think, 10-0. They're killing it. They just beat Illinois over the weekend in Champaign. I mean, you got Michigan and Michigan State. Indiana's good. Purdue is obviously really good. So not a lot of holes.
Yeah. I feel like Wisconsin's kind of a team that's similar to us that we play early on in the Big Ten slate, right? They're kind of
even expected Iowa.
Iowa as well. I don't think there's any gimmies on the schedule really.
I'd say the great thing that we have going for us and the good thing that we have going for us for obviously our duration in the Big Ten is that the fact that we get Oregon twice, Washington twice, and SC twice. I think that Oregon is having a down year. Washington is typically down, and SC, they're SC basketball. You're really never going to expect much out of them. So
True.
The fact that those should really be,
5-1 there.
5 wins there. Those are games that you can sort of circle on the calendar that, hey, when you get those, against these teams where you don't have to travel across the country, we should be winning in those games. But to go back to this game Saturday night, I think it was very similar to the Arizona game. And I think that it has to go back to just the depth of this team, because if you look at the score at the, let's see what it was, the 11-minute mark, right? UCLA was up 60-59. We looked pretty decent up until this point. 60-59 at the 11:04 mark, okay? It was 64-73 at the 4-minute and 21-second mark. So UCLA had scored 4 points in just under 7 minutes.
7 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. So, and that was around the same sort of time where we had around an 8-point lead in the Arizona game, and just completely puttered out.
What are you seeing as a basketball guy? Is it a matter of just the shots not falling, and then some point in the season it's got to reverse course, or is it just I saw a lot of turnovers during that time. The ball security was pretty poor, and it's not like Gonzaga was playing great in that 7-minute stretch. They went on spells where they missed a few shots, and we could have easily gotten back into it and made it even closer, or even retaken the lead. So what are you seeing when you're watching?
I honestly see a team that just gasses out. I mean, you just look at the box score. Bilodeau played 34 minutes, Booker played 26, Dent played 35, Clark played 34, Daly played. So all 5 of our starters are playing essentially 30 minutes plus. And we have Jamerson off the bench with 6 minutes, Jamar Brown with 12 minutes, Brandon Williams with 5 minutes, and Perry with 13 minutes. You take a look at Gonzaga, they had 2 players off the bench that at least played 20 minutes, and they had 2 other players that at least played 10 minutes and one with 15 minutes plus. Yeah. So, I mean, you go over a 40-minute game trying to guard these guys and just running up and down the floor. I don't necessarily think it comes down to anything other than just wear and tear throughout the game. I mean,
in a 30-game season, Kyle, that's gonna
30-game season. I mean, UCLA has really got to find a way to, part of me is, Cronin's got to trust these guys at some point. I mean, you got to be able to play Jamar Brown 15 plus minutes. You got to be able to play Trent Perry 15 plus minutes in a game like this, and you got to be able to play. Granted, he was in foul trouble for a period of time, but he ended up only with 3 personal fouls. So, I mean, Jamerson should play more than 6 minutes. So, other than that, I mean, the offense was good. I mean, we shot 4.
But how do you take Tyler Bilodeau off the court? Is my biggest question. Is because I feel like when he comes off, it just stalls. Everything stagnant. Just stalls. Sure, he's a bit of a liability defensively, especially when it comes to rebounding. Especially playing him at the 4, but you can't nothing happens because Donovan Dent almost chooses not to shoot any 3-pointers, and so it completely clogs his driving because people are like, okay, we're not going to guard him up there, so he's not going to use his athleticism to blow past people and get to the hoop. So there's nothing else if Bilodeau is not really on the court. Perry will show a lot of fight. Clark obviously can make things happen, but
when Bilodeau's off the court, and I mean, you want to keep him on the court. If we could play Bilodeau all 40 minutes, he's that good, right? But I think he does have a tendency to get in foul trouble. He does have a tendency to exhaust. But Sky Clark and Eric Daly really need to step up when Bilodeau's off the court. I think when Bilodeau's off the court, those 2 guys really got to have more of a demanding presence and want the ball, right? And look to score when Bilodeau isn't in the lineup. I mean, Sky Clark in no game should have only 6 field goal attempts. I mean, he's one of our best shooters. I think he's probably shooting 45% from 3-point this year. And he only takes 6 shots in that game. I mean, I think there's no true reason for that But just defensively, I mean, later on in the game, just lapses. I mean, this team, I think you go back to second chances too. I mean, Gonzaga, I mean, it wasn't really that much of a discrepancy, but 56 to our 51 field goal attempts, they get 2 times the amount of offensive boards that we do. I think it just goes back to that interior presence. Like, this team really doesn't have. I mean, Booker's a 5. We call him a 5. Yeah. But is he physical enough to play in the Big Ten and really, be that post presence? I mean, Graham Ike absolutely bullied him.
That Michigan game is going to be.
Oh God!
I was looking at the schedule and I was thinking exactly as you're talking about big men. I was thinking when we go out to Ann Arbor to play Michigan, they're a great team, just point blank period. But then seeing a guy who I feel like is going to dominate us in the paint. We have nobody. He's not a physical guy, like he's a skinny dude, but like, yeah, I don't think we're competing there.
No, I mean a die against Xavier Booker is gonna be. It's going to be brutal. But, I mean, this team is, I'm seeing it right now, like 8, 9 seed range. I mean, it's going to have to turn a corner quick because
we're running out of
runway. You don't have any real non-conference wins. You're going to need to rely going on the road in the Big Ten and winning at places like Michigan, at Michigan State. Which is already really hard to do. And, you don't want to flirt when it comes to March Madness of being, anywhere above a 6 seed, because then you're really running into the 3 and the national seeds in the second round. And then we're talking about the exact same place that we were last year, right?
Yeah.
Where, now we're looking at, hey, this is another year of a second round exit. And it almost goes back to the ability of Mick to put together a portal team or even bring in a high school recruit.
Yeah, I mean, do we have any high school recruits? No, right now. Like, is anybody? Do we have any true freshmen on scholarship? I don't think so, right?
I mean, Horny maybe Christian.
Oh yeah,
but like none that are
relevant to the team right now.
No, you look at all of the.
Yeah.
You look at all the top. I mean, I think you texted me this a couple of weeks ago. You were watching like a Duke versus
Duke, Florida,
someone, right? Duke, or even you watch. I hate to say it, but you watch Arizona and you watch Co-op Keat, and it's like that is a 5-star that comes from high school that is ready to play day one.
Yep.
Right. Day one, they're physical. They have the ability to defend. They have the ability to score at the collegiate level. And you get him for 1 year, you get him for 2 years. But when you combine that with a guy like Tyler Bilodeau and a guy like Daly, that is when you really have the true NBA prospect and the lower end second round NBA prospect, right? That has been in college for 3 years already, 4 years already in some cases. I mean, it sort of takes me back to like Jaime, Tyre Campbell, and Amari Bailey, or Dembona. Right?
I was looking at the schedule for that. We beat Kentucky. Remember, we beat Kentucky. We beat. Did we beat? No. Who else did we beat in that preseason in that non-conference? We had Baylor. Did we beat Baylor that year?
No, we lost to Baylor in Vegas.
That was right off
maybe Illinois.
Maybe it was Illinois.
We lost Illinois in Vegas. I want to say that year.
But we had a pretty strong non-conference.
Yeah, but I mean, you take like even the year before that, you take like the Juzang Hawkes plus a Dembona.
That was the Villanova one, right? Yeah. Villanova at home.
Exactly. So that I think is the combination. Yeah. I mean, after the Hawkes and the Campbells left, Mick really just strictly went to the portal. I mean,
he struck out on Kamenya, who's getting minutes at Duke.
Exactly. I mean, you struck out on Kamenya, and I mean, there's a lot of prime talent in the 2026 class, and we don't have any of them at the moment. So I think that there's got to be something that changes, and there's got to be something that changes quickly.
Quick question for you, Kyle. As we're looking back on the first 10 games of the season, about a third of the way now. Outside of that Cal loss, that Cal loss was really bad. We'd be 8-2 with losses to the number 1 team in the country and the number what's Gonzaga today? 8, like 2 top 10 losses.
Yep.
And one of which, I mean, both of which could have been wins, but one of which especially could have been a win. It was a 2-point loss, or 4-point loss. What do we feel if that Cal game doesn't go the way it does? Like, we'd still be ranked. I think we'd be a top 20 team sitting at
I think
8-2
so
with
too.
losses to Arizona and to Gonzaga.
I think so too. I mean, very easily we could have ended up losing that Washington game.
True.
Which was ridiculous at how close that got.
We were up by like 18 at one point, right?
Dude, we were up by like 16 with like 4 minutes to go. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Just threw it away.
It was brutal. But I mean,
like, do we feel better about the non-conference if we don't lose to Cal? Because, like, sure, I could throw away a game to the number 1 team in the country that you at least were relevant in and were leading at points. Sure, like, you collapse, but there's things to take away from it. And then Gonzaga, kind of similarly,
on the road, it's a true road game, right? I hear what you're saying, and I've also gone back and forth on this. I mean, you look at some of the teams that Arizona is absolutely rolling right now.
Oh my god, yeah, it's
they
crazy.
Rolled Auburn, they rolled Alabama,
Florida,
Florida, right? I mean, they beat UConn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they've beaten every single test they've faced. They're
a true number 1 team in the country. Much as it pains me to give them that.
I agree, but yeah, I mean, you lose that game. The Gonzaga game, we were in it until late. Just that 7-minute stretch. So like, I agree. I think our losses, those 2 losses, I mean, you're good losses, but that Cal loss, I mean, we didn't have Bilodeau, and you could tell that offense was just completely stagnant in that game. I mean, it sucks because you should be able to beat a Cal without, your leading scorer. But Bilodeau is just he's such a force for us right now. We just need Cal to not,
I need them
have
to
a
stay,
brutal ACC schedule.
Yeah.
Because if Cal ends up doing well in the ACC, then that loss hurts, obviously a little bit less. But like Mick says, you want to be playing your best basketball, in March and in February versus right now, because I don't think we've seen the Donovan Dent that we're gonna see in March.
I really hope so, man.
Yeah,
it would be a waste of I don't want to say waste of $2 million, but I can think of a lot better ways to spend that money.
I mean, I was looking at the stats earlier today. He is averaging 12 points a game, nearly 7 assists a game, but nearly 3 turnovers a game. So that assist to turnover ratio is almost 2-to-1, which is not very good.
Not for a guard.
Not for an All-American guard.
Yeah.
I mean, the 3-point percentage is horrendous. It's 7%.
Terrible. Doesn't exist.
37% from the field. With how much he's getting to the rack, that should be much higher. But the thing that, I mean, we're 10 games into the season. He's at 100 field goal attempts. He's our leading field goal attempter. So, I mean, at this point, if I'm Cronin, do I look to maybe give him 2 less sets a game, 3 less sets a game? I mean, you've seen Cronin actually pull him for quite a while in certain games. I mean, even I think in the Gonzaga game, he pulled him for a good chunk of time. But, he's really got to turn a corner, and he's really got to turn a corner pretty damn quick.
Yeah. What do we think? We spoke, the 3 of us, with Ross here beginning of the season, that we all kind of expected that Elite 8 we'd be happy with an Elite 8, berth. This is totally preseason, right? Now is Sweet 16 the ceiling for this team, or what are we thinking?
I mean, the way that that's what, like, I'm conflicted on. I'm very conflicted with. I'm disappointed in this team, and I'm conflicted with this team because I still think they're good. They've lost to, like we just said, right? They've lost to Arizona, and they've lost to Gonzaga in a true road game. They've lost to Cal without Tyler Bilodeau. I think Big Ten, in the early part of the Big Ten schedule, is really going to be telling because I think we win the next 3 games against ASU, Riverside, and Cal Poly. But then when you get to go into Iowa, when you get to go into Wisconsin, and when you get, home games against Maryland, right? I think that's when we're really going to find out, if this team can turn a corner, and then maybe they
Penn
start
State's
playing.
a little frisky too.
Penn State, played Michigan State pretty tough. Yeah. But I mean, I think the good thing about our Big Ten schedule is a lot of the really good teams in the Big Ten outside of Purdue are sort of backloaded into our schedule.
Yeah,
you got the Michigan States. You got the Illinois. You got Michigan State, Illinois. SC,
that's a tough stretch.
Yeah.
That's a tough 3 games.
That's in a week. In a week, you're playing Michigan State, and Illinois in the span of a week.
That is, yeah.
That Illinois game at home is nice. The Nebraska game at home is really nice. Yeah. I mean, those 2 games on the road at Michigan and Michigan State, hopefully we're playing much better by then, or we stand absolutely no chance.
If we could split those, I mean, I think that's a win.
Oh, big time. Huge.
Right?
Huge. I mean, if you look at the schedule, and I don't want to break down the entire schedule, but the Iowa and the Wisconsins, I think we split. We should win. We should win both against Maryland and Penn State. Ohio State on the road is a toss-up.
Coin flip, yeah.
Purdue at home, probably a loss. Northwestern, Oregon, Indiana, Rutgers, Washington. That has to be a clean stretch of games. And then, at that point, you're like, where are we at? Are we a top 25 team? Yeah. Or are we a team that's going to be a second-round exit? So I think the early part of the Big Ten schedule is going to be really, really telling because, like I said, I'm just so conflicted with these guys right now. I don't know which way or which direction they're gonna go next.
My one optimism, and like you said, I don't want to break down the schedule, is my one optimism is Cronin is known for having at least one big win in his seasons. At least one. You had a few last year.
Michigan
State. You had obviously Gonzaga, Arizona last year.
A lot of big wins last year.
Last year was and then the year before, maybe not.
No, hell no.
But then you had like the Villanova win. You had he has 1 or 2 of these every year. Whereas like UCLA should not be in this. So if we're saving those 1 or 2 big wins for a Purdue at home or a Michigan or Michigan State on the road, I can work with that.
Ideal state, you win the next 3 games, you're 10-3. You're 10-3 and you're 2-0 in the Big Ten. You go to Iowa and Wisconsin, you split those 2.
So you're 11-4.
You're 11-4. You win the next 3 games. Maryland's dog shit. Penn State, in my opinion, is dog shit. Ohio State.
So 14-4 going into Purdue.
If you can win that Purdue game and call that game your staple season winner, then you go into Northwestern, Oregon, Indiana, Rutgers, Washington, and you carry that momentum.
That should be 4 on the trot. That should be 4 on the trot.
And you carry that momentum into your gauntlet.
We've done this before, Kyle. I don't want to. We've done this so many times with football. We thought we were going to be 8-1 going into Ohio State or something.
Oh my God! Yeah, we'll probably lose the next 10 games.
Yeah, well, Mick's going to get fired by February.
Oh my God! Yeah, you're right.
The SBS curse.
You're right. We shouldn't try and predict the schedule. But anyways, any other thoughts about Bruins hoops?
Not much. We have some exciting news, right, Kyle, about Bruin hoops?
Yeah, we're gonna be doing. I don't know if you guys listeners recall, but last year I want to say we did it for the Wisconsin game.
Was it? I thought it was Minnesota.
Minnesota, yeah,
it was the devastating loss. Yeah, it's supposed to be Cronin's 500th win or something.
Maybe we're cursed in this too. Maybe we should cancel it. But we did an SBS section, got a lot of followers together and sort of rallied the troops for, it was probably like a Tuesday, Wednesday game, inside of Poly Libraries. So we bring in the energy again this year. We're going to be doing both the Maryland and the Northwestern games. So that's going to
both
be
Saturday games.
Both Saturday games, super. If you can't get out to a Saturday game, then I can't help you. Nobody can help
We're giving you guys a great deal on
50% off.
Yep.
50% off tickets directly from the athletic department. So that's a 5 p.m. start on January 10th against Maryland, and then Northwestern another Saturday, January 24th, a 3 p.m. start. So
Yeah.
Be on the lookout for that. I know Ross is going to be putting some stuff out on the SBS channels over the next few weeks. We'll provide the links, and would love to have you guys out. Maybe we'll do something at Barney's or Rocco's beforehand. But yeah, it was a lot of fun last year.
Yeah, I mean, despite that result, we were pretty rowdy. I think we got Pauly hyped. People were joining in, even if they weren't in our section. Really good time. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason, and that was like a weekday game, I want to say. It
was like a Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah. If you guys are listening and you guys want to make Pauly rowdy, and these are 2 games that should be wins. Saturdays, come hang out. We'll get a beer before, during, and after if all goes well.
Hell yeah, Keon. No Ross this weekend or this week. Shout out Ross. Hopefully he gets better, but hopefully the Bruins take care of business tomorrow night against Arizona State, or I might never do a podcast ever again in my life.
Yeah, it's the last episode.
This would be the last episode ever if we lose to ASU. If we lose to ASU, Cronin should be fired on Thursday. And
we didn't even touch on that 5-year extension.
Oh my. I don't even want to touch on it at the moment. I don't know how I feel about that guy currently.
Fair enough.
But anyways, appreciate all the listeners for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next time. Go Bruins.